It's a disaster if Jim Schwartz leaves.
If you got Todd Monken,
I think it is.
You got Todd Monken, and one of your biggest chips on the board was the fact that you wanted to keep Jim Schwartz, I think that would be disappointing because you lose the advantage of saying, hey, just worry about the offense. Let the defense take care of what the defense is and keep it the same.
Yeah.
But now if you do that, you got to have a brand new defensive coordinator, it's a brand new everything, and then you're worried about guys like Myles Garrett being like, man, come on now. I don't know if I'm signing up for this. So, yeah, that would be kind of disappointment. I ain't going to lie about that.
You would just think they would have their ducks in a row before this comes out. You know,
they had to talk to him, Dustin.
That's what I'm saying.
Did they?
I mean, don't you think Schefter would know?
Yeah. Schefter was
He's the one that would know.
I hope so. They want to keep him. But
okay, but if you're the Browns, you actually can dictate to this guy, be like, hey, if you want this job, you're going to keep Jim Schwartz as coordinator. I don't love that idea.
Yeah.
Like to force something on somebody.
Right.
But
he would do it. The young guys might not do that.
Maybe not. But the point is the Browns could be able to do that. Otherwise you're stuck without a DC and you got this great defense.
But Jim Schwartz, if I'm another team right now, I'm calling up Jim Schwartz and making him a DC/assistant head coach.
Yeah,
because the Browns can't stop him. If he becomes assistant head coach, the Browns cannot stop him from leaving.
Or who currently is the Browns assistant or associate head coach?
What's that?
Do you know who is currently the Browns associate
head
coach?
Bubba Ventrone. Great job. I think they had to do that to get him from Indianapolis.
They did.
So the Browns don't control him. As long as somebody willing, you're telling me there's not a team that would give him that promotion? 100%.
Maybe the Ravens would.
Who's the Ravens head coach now?
Minter, right?
He's a defensive guy.
I know, but still.
I think also.
I bet you the Falcons. Well, they like their DC.
If you ask Jim Schwartz, I think Jim is probably. I ain't gonna say he's content, but I'm sure the Browns will say, "Hey, I got a bag of money for you. You already got the pieces in the part. You can do whatever you want to over here."
You think he'd be content? If I'm him, I think they screwed me over.
Some people is different.
He wanted to be the head coach, though.
Yeah. There's a lot of he went through 2 processes and 2 interviews.
Just because he interviewed doesn't mean that you're interviewing them too to some degree.
Yeah.
To see if you want the job.
Right, but if he didn't want it, doesn't he want to leave? Like if I'm him, I'm out.
You want to start over?
I have no idea.
Why start over? What are you going to start over? How's that going to hurt him to start over?
Sometimes when you get older, you don't feel like being hopping around from like you're an assistant.
Does Buffalo have a DC yet?
To my knowledge,
no. Hopefully they're gonna hire Jim Leonard.
They should hire Jim Schwartz, no?
No, he was a reported heavy favorite for that.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Leonard?
Correct, yes.
Yeah.
Half the teams in the league would fire their DC to hire Jim Schwartz.
But
I want Leonard back.
But here's the thing about him here. Now I don't know if he's gonna stay or not, but he gets to do whatever he wants here.
So he would anywhere.
You don't know that.
Most likely.
You're here.
Yeah.
They give you a raise. You're comfortable. You got one of the best defenses in the league. You got all the guys you already know. You done handpicked half of them.
But what did it do? It didn't do him any good. He didn't get a head coaching job out of it.
Hey, if he didn't get the head coaching job, I don't think he's gonna go scorched earth. Maybe he's mature about it.
I don't. How's that mature? It's not mature to stay with a team that insulted you.
How do you know? Maybe he's not insulted.
Oh, he might not be, but I'm saying you wouldn't be surprised if he was.
Yeah, but it could go either way.
Yeah, sure.
I have no idea what's going through his mind. I know the guys in their 60s think differently than we do.
Yeah, we just talked to Coach Patton. Coach Patton was like, "Listen, man, I got children. My parents is getting up there. I'm cool. I'm gonna spend some time with my people.
Right,
like a lot of times, everybody may have a little itch to do certain things, right? And if you put your name in a hat, and if it don't come around, okay. But you know what can make it better? Hey, you just gave me a boatload of money because I'm sure they gave him an extra.
Anybody would give him a boatload of money, no?
It's always easier. It's always easier to get a job when you already got a job.
He would never have a problem getting the job. Going back to your other thing about what you said about the young guys, maybe they decided, they didn't have enough experience or whatever, which is possible. If you had to bet all your money right now that those guys turned the Browns down or the Browns turned them down,
I'd bet every dollar they turned the Browns down.
So would I. G?
Yeah, I think a lot of them, especially Udinski and a lot of them. Yeah, I think there's quite a few of them. It's like, no, I got better offers here. I'm gonna do something else.
Mike,
They turned the Browns down.
most likely.
It's hard to look at it any other way.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's hard. Maybe it's not true. It's just hard to see.
They flew
the
to Los
progression of
Angeles
what
to interview
happened.
this guy. Like, they wanted this guy.
Yeah.
Like, for them to not have him on the jet back to Cleveland with him,
Yeah.
I feel like he said no.
I think it will be weird if Schwartz ends up leaving, and maybe he's not. It seems crazy to me. To me, if Schwartz leaves now, it's just a new level of blundering by the Browns, because throughout this whole process, we were told, and Jimmy Haslam said it, that they wanted to keep Schwartz.
His words were absolutely.
Yes,
He's a great
and
coach.
we assume likely that the young guys were kind of like, I don't want to be forced into an assistant coach, and now you hire this veteran that nobody's excited about. And if you lose Schwartz, to me, it's a total disaster.
Well, if the owner came out and said, absolutely, we want him here, right, then that leads you to believe that they've had the conversation with Monken as well as Jim Schwartz. Like, hey, this is what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. This is what's going to go down, and you'll be here. Right, now, if he don't, that means it's backwards, because you said he's going to be here, and you hired somebody else, obviously, that he didn't get along with or didn't like. Right. So now he's rolling too.
Right, but when they said that, they didn't know who the head coach was going to be. So obviously they want to keep Jim Schwartz. The only question is, does he want to stay? Because I don't even think there's got to be a team, at least one, if not more teams, that would try to steal him away by making him assistant head coach. I don't even think that's in question. The only question is, does he want to stay? I'm hoping the Browns were smart enough, and that's a crazy thing to hope, because usually they're stupid, but I'm hoping they were smart enough that they got the okay from him that he would stay before they did this. But if he leaves, that's another level of clown show at this point.
So,
go ahead.
You know Ari Mirov, My Sports Update on Twitter?
Yeah.
I follow him. Is he a real person? He might be an AI.
No, he is a real person. He does a podcast. It's actually it's tied with the 33rd team. He's a real person. He tweeted this out a second ago, and I just want to just read this. And it gets cut off because you guys know why, but I'm going to read the full tweet. You can only see the first 85% of it. He said, an issue that came up during the Browns search was that some candidates wanted to bring their own staff altogether. The idea of getting married to Jim Schwartz as DC wasn't for everyone, regardless of how great he's been. It also worked the other way around. It was unclear whether Schwartz would want to remain the DC with some of the head coach candidates Cleveland brought in. The situation was complex, and it remains to be seen what happens next.
So that kind of denotes that's very interesting, because the opposite way around, Dustin, when he's talking about it, it seems like they don't have a clear picture on whether or not
They don't know what the hell they're doing. Let's be honest.
Why would you not? If you wanted to keep Jim Schwartz, you have to know from his mouth. You can't can't think about it. You got to know straight up, hey, if we do this, you're going to stay.
100%.
We got you on the dotted line. We cool with this? But that, from that perspective, if that report is true, you playing with fire, because you want to keep him, but other people that you are coming in to interview for you, they don't want to be married to that idea.
Man, I just would love to know what's going on behind the scenes. Like, what are these conversations like? Because it sounds like they gave Jim Schwartz power in the coaching search. Like, hey, what do you think about these guys?
So real quick, this from Jeremy Fowler. I just saw this a second ago. The Browns notified Rams assistant Nate Shieldhouse this morning they were going in a different direction. He plans to stay with the Rams and be a factor for next head coaching cycle. This was before the actual hire, because the tweet continues and finishes with, we'll see what happens with Jim Schwartz, but one source told me Todd Monken and Schwartz had similarities as coaches and could work well together. Here's the full tweet from Jeremy Fowler. So they told Shieldhouse no this morning.
Team source told them. Yeah, who knows? Hey, listen, maybe Jim Schwartz is content. I can't imagine wanting to stay after this, but maybe he will.
If I look at it from a perspective of, we laughed about it yesterday. If they say assume they do bring back Jim Schwartz, Well, you ain't got to worry about no accountability stuff with them two dudes. These two dudes, I called it no fun. I said, I said, Dustin, they ain't gonna have no fun out there if you got Todd Monken and Jim Schwartz. It's gonna be like you going back to old school. Like,
but we don't know. We don't know what Todd Monken is. He's never led a team.
Well, we know he's straightforward and he's a grumpy version of Kevin Stefanski.
But we hated Kevin Stefanski.
Hey, listen, I don't know what to tell you what he's gonna do.
You said we hated Kevin Stefanski?
I'm saying, like, the general we.
We hated losing.
G. Bush does the general we a lot. I want to use the general we.
Use that general we. Yeah, we had problems with Kevin. We had issues with Kevin. Everybody
we had issues with them not winning enough games.
Right. So and that's the thing too.
All right, listen, you got to live with him. He's gonna,
Listen,
for now.
We all said it. Listen, I'm the Kool-Aid Mafia general. I said, when y'all asked me who's the worst person,
you said Todd Monken.
I said, dang, I don't want.
And now you're making a lot of excuses.
Nah, I'm just really cashing in what I told you, even though it hurts.
You try to be glass half full.
Nah,
I understand.
I told you before. Yeah. We all said it. Whoever they pick, you gotta give him an opportunity.
We do. We don't. I don't feel like we have to today, but after today, we have to give him a chance.
You can voice your opinion, but
yeah, we have to give him a chance.
If I'm gonna say I don't want Kevin Stefanski to be here, and he going on to other places, they hire somebody new because they thought he was the best for the job. Yeah. I can't in 2 days be like, get him out of here too. That make me look wild and crazy.
I actually, and I obviously I liked Kevin Stefanski for a while. I soured on him very much the last 2 years. I would rather Kevin Stefanski still be head coach personally.
Well, that's